Looking for the broccoli. High key, keep a horn on me. That could my seat. IP ownership, the blueprint is by me. Mr. Get Off, I get off at my feet. Squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up.
The Lakers, they've lost 13 of their last 14 games to the Denver Nuggets, but they didn't have Luka Doncic for any of those. Luka dropped 32 points last night, his most in a Lakers uniform, and he didn't just score. He led the Lakers in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and three-point field goals. LA did not trail at any point during this game, and it had Luka thinking about the big picture here.
I think our goal is to win championship. That's our only goal. And I think we have the team for that. Obviously the chemistry with me and the guys, is going to take a little time still. But, like you saw today, I think it's getting better and better.
So Luka might have a point. There have been some growing pains, Stephen A., but last night was what this team could be at their best. And LA is currently tied with the Knicks for the 5th shortest odds to win the title at ESPN Bet. Luka thinks his team can win a championship. Do you?
I don't, but I'm not definitive about it. After what I saw last night, I was shocked. Let me be the first to apologize to the Los Angeles Lakers. I did not see them being capable of that. I got news for y'all. The Lakers, an NBA best, 14 or 15 and 4 since January 15th. The Denver Nuggets came into the game on a winning streak, averaging 128 points, got held to 100, so they got to playing defense as well. I mean, it's only the second victory for the Lakers against the Nuggets in the last 15 outings. LeBron James looks absolutely sensational. I mean, he's 40 going on 30. It's unreal what I'm seeing. And I'm going to say this right here, right now. J.J. Redick is a candidate for Coach of the Year. He is just doing a hell of a job. And Big Perk enlightened me about how brilliant they are offensively compared to what they were last year. Defensively, not so much, but that wasn't the case last night. If that Los Angeles Lakers team shows up in the postseason, look the hell out. And I'm not going to be mad about having to be in Southern California.
Two big things. One, over the last 18 games, they are the #1 defensive team in the league. Now, it's hard to believe that because Anthony Davis has been gone for most of those. And that is not a relic of AD's team. They're doing it despite being very small in the interior because they're so big on the perimeter, because Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt come in there and give J.J. Redick some options. Secondly, last night they got Luka to be Luka again. What I mean by that is he wasn't just a ball mover who was trying to play turns with Austin Reeves and LeBron. He said, I'm going to be the dominating force. Everything ran through him last night. This is the way they've got to play. I thought this would be something that would happen later in the season. JJ got him to do it. Last night, he was completely different. His demeanor was different. I'm going to tell you something. Tuesday night, the Mavericks are going to be here. Luka's going to be here.
Luka's going to put on the show.
The Mavericks just gave up 126 points. They're missing their 3 best interior defenders.
Luka's going to put on the show.
They're coming off that big win. Look out.
Mind the game and respect the game. That's exactly what J.J. Redick is doing right now. He's a top 10 coach in the NBA today. I saw a report after the game. He said as soon as they had their win on Thursday against the Portland Trail Blazers, he didn't get hardly any sleep because he started preparing for the Denver Nuggets. And it showed when we watch. And I'm looking at this Laker team, and I'm listening to Luka comments, and they saying that we're here to win a championship. And they could actually go to the NBA Finals if you want to be real about it. Think about it. They're only 2.5 games back from the second seed. 2.5 games back from the second seed. Hold on. With Luka getting in shape, getting his legs up under him, with a LeBron James playing the way that he's playing, a happy LeBron James, it ain't far-fetched. And when you think about the game plan, and this is just, I know it's just been an appetizer, but again, we saw when the Knicks played the Lakers on set, and what J.J. Redick and that system did to Karl Anthony Towns, then we saw it last night. That was Jokic's worst game, in my opinion.
He only got 7 shots.
That was his.
He only got 7 shots.
That was his worst game that I've seen in the last 2 years.
Well, the bigger issue is you and what you point to about defense. the Lakers have been showing up and defending, which is not something we were accustomed to seeing from them this year. And now that's the case. And so I'm looking at them now, and I'm looking at the rest of the Western Conference. We got the youth in OKC, but are you ready? We've got health issues in Dallas. We don't know what the hell is going on in Phoenix. We still trying to figure that out, okay? Denver, we thought that, you know what, they were here elevating, and then they ran into something that they hadn't seen from the Los Angeles Lakers. The Western Conference right now is vulnerable, and when you see Luka with the ball in his hands, I'm looking at a 40-year-old LeBron James movement without the ball, knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it. The brother's brilliant. The Lakers with Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith, Austin Reeves, all these brothers. The Lakers are getting very, very, very interesting.
Real quick, I just want to point out the game plan and what JJ designed last night defensively. He somewhat exposed the Denver Nuggets. If you go back and watch that film and how he guarded Jokic and how he baited those guys into taking threes, that worked into their favor last night. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's listen, I'm telling you, that damn JJ, I was wondering and questioning whether he was going to be able to fulfill that role of being a head coach, especially in this first year. Damn it, he's doing his thing.
The Lakers are 13-4 since January 15th, 18-4.
Number 2. Right, in order to get Cleveland to the promised land and possibly bring home a title, that has to be Evan Mobley, right? A guy that Kenny Atkinson has unlocked in a beautiful way offensively. Can Evan Mobley elevate his game in a 7-game series going from 18 points and 9 rebounds? Can he be that 20 or 25-point scorer and 12 or 15 boards? Because when you get into that matchup, especially if they happen to meet Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals, I don't know if him and Jared Allen are going to be able to share the floor together against that Celtic team. So Evan Mobley is going to probably have to play that 5, being able to switch the pick and roll, and they're going to have to match Boston system. But again, it comes down to this. Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is going to be the X factor.
This is a special night tonight, and here's why. The Grizzlies have a clean injury report. This has been one of the most banged-up teams over the last 2 years you can possibly imagine. They get to come into this game with a clean injury report. It's not so much for the Cavs. Darius Garland and Jared Allen, 2 All-Stars, are questionable coming in. We'll see if they can get to how they get towards game time. There's a lot of respect between these two teams. You know, I'm going to do a Stephen A-style name drop here. Recently, Malika, I was talking to Mike Krzyzewski. Mike Krzyzewski is assisting the NBA with some consulting. And one of the things that they've talked to him about is whether they should make any rule changes, okay? And while he was having that conversation with the NBA's competition committee, Kobe Altman, the Cavs team president, was talking about how impressive the Memphis Grizzlies are on offense because they achieved this incredibly great high level of efficiency, and they run the 30th most pick and rolls. In the era where they say everybody plays the same way, the Grizzlies play completely differently. The Cavs, meanwhile, lead the league in pick and rolls. And so you have two teams that are number 1 and number 2 in offense, but completely different styles.
Let me say this a couple of things. Number 1, first of all, we always appreciate what we hear about Coach Mike Krzyzewski. If anybody should be advising people about basketball, it should be Coach K, no doubt about that. Good to hear his name. Number 2, when we look at Cleveland, okay, think about this. Leads the league in fourth quarter offensive efficiency. Got 11 different players averaging over 19 minutes a game. You got a bench that's averaging 17.5 3-point shots, and they're hitting at a 38% clip. So I'm talking about 11 deep, 3-point shooting, height, athleticism, depth, a surefire number 1 in Donovan Mitchell. A few dudes who could play, at least a couple of dudes who could be a number 2, meaning a Mobley or a Darius Garland, depending on what you're going up against. I love this team. I love what I'm seeing from this team. It's going to be real interesting to find out what they do. But the last point I'll make is this. Ja Morant, I know he elevates Memphis. The one thing I'm seeing from him a little bit too much, he really looks for calls all the time. More so than I've seen him in the past. Just play. I think an elevated level of greatness will come from him if he just did that.
Well, it has to, because getting to the Memphis Grizzlies, if you're trying to be a legit title contender, if you're trying to go match up with Denver, if you're trying to go toe-to-toe with Oklahoma City, Jaren Jackson Jr. can't be your best player in a 7-game series. John Morant needs to be that guy.
And now that's
and
the
John
case. And
Morant,
so I'm looking at them now, and I'm looking at the rest of the Western Conference. We got the youth in OKC, but are you ready? We've got health issues in Dallas. We don't know what the hell is going on in Phoenix. We still trying to figure that out, okay? Denver, we thought that, you know what, they were here elevating, and then they ran into something that they hadn't seen from the Los Angeles Lakers. The Western Conference right now is vulnerable, and when you see Luka with the ball in his hands, I'm looking at a 40-year-old LeBron James movement without the ball, knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it. The brother's brilliant. The Lakers with Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith, Austin Reeves, all these brothers. The Lakers are getting very, very, very interesting.
Real quick,
very
I just want to point out the game plan and with
The Los Angeles Lakers have endured a brutal stretch, losing 13 of their last 14 games against the Denver Nuggets. However, it's important to note that Luka Doncic was absent for all of those contests. Despite the struggles, one bright spot emerged last night as LA's newest addition, LCA, delivered his most dominant performance in a Lakers uniform, dropping 32 points while leading the team in rebounds, assists, steals, and three-pointers. It wasn't just a scoring display, it was an all-around effort that showcased his ability to impact the game on multiple levels. When asked about the Lakers' long-term goals, LCA was clear and unwavering. "We're not here for anything less than a championship. That's our only goal, and I believe we have the team to accomplish that. Chemistry with my teammates is still developing, but as you saw tonight, it's improving with every game." He may have a point. The Lakers are showing signs of growth, and last night's performance was a glimpse of what this team is capable of at its peak. It was a statement game that left many in shock. Even analysts who doubted them were forced to reconsider. "Let me be the first to apologize to the Los Angeles Lakers," said one prominent commentator. "I did not think they were capable of a performance like that. But I have news for everyone. Since January 15th, the Lakers have the best record in the NBA at 14-5. The Denver Nuggets entered the matchup riding a strong winning streak, averaging 128 points per game, but they were held in check by a Lakers defense that has quietly emerged as one of the league's best. In fact, over the last 18 games, Los Angeles boasts the #1 defensive rating in the NBA, a remarkable feat given that Anthony Davis has been sidelined for most of that stretch. The Lakers are not relying on traditional defensive anchors in the paint. Instead, they are thriving with relentless perimeter defense and strategic rotations that compensate for their lack of interior size. Two key factors stood out last night. First, the Lakers reasserted their offensive identity by running everything through LCA, who wasn't just another playmaker deferring to LeBron James and Austin Reeves. He took control, dictated the tempo, and imposed his will. This is how the Lakers must play moving forward. Second, head coach J.J. Redick is proving to be one of the brightest minds in the league. The defensive schemes he deployed against Denver exposed weaknesses in the Nuggets' attack, particularly how they defended Nikola Jokic and baited Denver into settling for inefficient shots. Redick's strategic adjustments have reshaped the Lakers' trajectory, and his impact as a first-year head coach cannot be overstated. After their win against the Portland Trail Blazers on Thursday, Redick reportedly barely slept, already diving into preparations for the Nuggets matchup. His meticulous approach paid off, and his influence on this team is undeniable. The Lakers have gone from a struggling squad to a legitimate contender, now just 2.5 games behind the second seed in the Western Conference. With LCA finding his rhythm, LeBron James playing at an MVP level, and Davis nearing a return, the Lakers suddenly find themselves back in the championship conversation. Looking around the Western Conference, vulnerabilities are emerging among the top teams. Oklahoma City has talent but lacks playoff experience. Dallas has health concerns. Denver, despite its reigning championship pedigree, was caught off guard by the Lakers' newfound defensive intensity. If LA continues this upward trajectory, they could be the team no one wants to face in the postseason. LeBron James, now 39 years old, continues to defy expectations. His off-ball movement, decision-making, and ability to control the game remain unparalleled. With each game, he further solidifies his legacy as one of the all-time greats. Meanwhile, the Lakers' supporting cast, including Reeves, Smith, and others, is stepping up in crucial moments, adding depth to a roster that once appeared lacking. Defensively, the game plan executed against Denver was a masterclass in coaching. The way Jokic was defended, forcing him into uncomfortable spots, limiting his facilitation, and challenging Denver's role players to beat them, was a tactical blueprint that other teams will likely study. If the Lakers can maintain this defensive intensity, they will be a serious problem in the playoffs. For those who doubted Redick's ability to lead a team in his first year as a head coach, the results speak for themselves. The Lakers are 13-5 since mid-January, playing their best basketball at the right time. If they can carry this momentum into the postseason, they have a legitimate path to the NBA Finals. The Western Conference is open, and the Lakers are knocking on the door.